heading over. Here we go. Here we go on to YouTube. Little song to take us over.
You get all my cards out here. I forget about this until the last minute. I'm thinking of all the other things I gotta.
All right. I think we are live. Okay, here we go. So, Amalia and Natalio here with Madelaine Parker. And
Hi, everybody.
Madelaine's getting herself together.
My cards just fell on the ground. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Madelaine and I were just talking. It's like there's just I'm feeling this like kind of like it's not heavy energy, it's just maybe a lack of energy. It's just I don't know. I think it's the holiday craziness, which really wasn't particularly crazy for me, but I could feel it around me. I'm sure anybody on the roadways recently, holy cow, people
Oh,
were
really?
cuckoo on the roadways.
Mm.
So I'm excited for the shifting energetics of this Capricorn new moon that is coming up on December 30th, 5:27 p.m. Eastern at 9 degrees 43 minutes. And the one thing I really that I was reflecting on from last year was the Capricorn new moon last year was on the Capricorn new moon this year, 2024, as we're recording this, was on January 11th, which happens to be my honey's birthday. So this year was a pretty big, significant year as far as how we honored the Capricorn new moon, the Capricorn full moon, the rituals we did. And I wanted to show everyone, for those who have been with Madelaine and me for a while and part of our process here with the Cosmic Chat. And I was sharing how we created these, we did a Capricorn ritual and we created these intentions and asked for a symbol that would remind us of those intentions without having to go through and like have a whole list of things. And there's nothing wrong with a list of things, but this felt like a rock is earth, Capricorn is earth. It's that energy of groundedness. It's bringing the ideas, which were symbolized with the drawings on here, to just remind us and anchor in whatever it was that what we were intending. Funny enough, I also found these are the two papers with our intentions that we used, that we pulled out again on the Capricorn full moon in June of this year. So now it's still 2024 and we have another Capricorn full moon. So it feels significant to me because these things just, like, I saw the video today. I don't believe in accidents. Everything happens. It's divinely guided and orchestrated. So I'm sharing it with you today to invite you to create maybe some sort of a ritual for yourself with this upcoming Capricorn new moon. We're closing out the energy of the year. We're planting the seeds for a new year. So I would say 3 parts. I love doing things in 3. So the first ritual would be releasing all of the parts of 2024, or whatever, if you want to use the Capricorn new moon as your anchor point, whatever that is for you, releasing all those things, people, situations, circumstances, feelings, opinions of the year that are not really something you want to carry with you. Write it out. I'm a big fan of fire, safe fire. Burn whatever that is and release it. And the other part of it is like, yes, that's great, but like really speak it out. I release, like, say your name. I, Amalia Natalio, am releasing da 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 da. Read it 3 times, light it on fire, and trust that it will be released. Then the next part of the ritual, which I would say I would do right around the time of the new moon, so right around the 30th, is creating. So you're releasing and then you're creating. Like, what are you looking to create in this Capricorn new moon? Because Capricorn relates to how we're seen in the world, the legacy we leave. It's how people view us. It's how we engage with the public environment around us. There's more to it than that as well. But like, these are key elements for a lot of folks, myself big time, when it comes to career sort of focused things that I'm really honed in on. Again, same with the write it out, write it out, speak it out loud. I, da, 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 your name. And then all of those pieces, again, burn it and allow it to go into the universe. And this is where I feel like the stones could come into play. So these were stones that I purchased for an event. And then we use gold paint markers to create a glyph, if you will, on it. So you could do the same thing and just leave this out. And this, I would say the third part is to ground the energy of what you're creating here. And so this is literally a physical representation of that grounding. And that is also a way to remind you and to bring that into it, bring it into life, bring it to fruition. One of the saying for Capricorn is I build or I use. I really like I build for this energy. I build. What are you building? What are you doing? And, the other part of this that I talk about is, at all these cosmic chats is the body gates. So, what part of the body is activated here? Well, you've got your knees, your joints, that's movement, your spinal muscles, your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, all of these things have movement. They're moving you forward in life. And then you also have your skin and hair, which is like your outer shell, how you're presenting yourself in the world, and your spleen, which is really very deeply connected to survival and also similar to the kidneys and the liver and like the detoxification process. So it's very important. It's part of that, your digestive health, what you're taking in, what you're removing from your body. So this is a really powerful, potent time energetically, which Madelaine is going to be talking about from a cosmic perspective, but also from a like a bigger picture perspective. And I'm going to fire hose you guys with a little information because there was like so much coming through about this. And then I'm going to shut my mouth and let Madelaine speak and share her wisdom. Madelaine, you talk about the Sabian symbols sometimes, and I was guided to them myself today. These are it's Channeled Wisdom by Elsie Wheeler. And this is at 9 degrees of Capricorn, but with the Sabian symbols, you always go up a degree. So we're looking at the number 10 to 10 Capricorn. 10 is a number of completion. So it's a reminder for us that it's important for us to complete our tasks before we move on into the unknown, which I would equate to the future. So if we're thinking about what I talked about at the beginning here about closing out the year, closing out that Capricorn New Moon energy from January 11th of 2024, it's time to have closure, to have resolution before moving on to new endeavors. And I feel like that's such a great message for this new moon. It lines up so much just with the timing from a Gregorian calendar standpoint, and then also from just the astrology. And here's the other thing too, with Capricorn, there's a practicality kind of energy to it, feeling of responsibility, a little bit of ambition. So we've got the moon energy. So there's going to be this inner drive and desire to move towards our goals for recognition of some kind. And it may not even be external recognition. Like we may not need the world to recognize us for what we're doing, but we may need to recognize it for ourselves. So we're acting to serve all, and we're not doing it for approval. We're doing it because it feels aligned for us. All right. 2 aspects I want to point out on this Capricorn new moon. Obviously, the moon and the sun are hanging out together as they always do. Madelaine's going to be talking more about some of the other aspects, but I want to just quickly mention the sextile the moon is having with Saturn and Pisces. So we'll have this renewed sense of emotional responsibility and a deeper connection to our own emotional needs. So this is a time for emotional growth and maturity, which whenever I hear that, I think challenge. It's like there's going to be some sort of challenge to my emotional stability that's going to require me to expand a bit and grow. And Saturn feels like restrictive, so there might be that feeling of restriction, but really it's for the general sense of growth. And then we have the moon squaring the nodes, the North Node in Aries. So tension between our emotional nature and our soul purpose. So it's this like, it's almost like there's going to be something that your soul is pulling you towards, but it is very challenging. Like there's fear or there's upset or there's something that's going to keep kind of this like push pull. But remember, the Capricorn moon is like this desire for security and stability. The Aries North Node is the need for freedom and exploration, like forging a new path, doing something new. Aries is like this, start, like take charge. So there is that, like, again, that tension between them, but they're very, it's like almost like an alchemical process that has the potential to take place so that we can all step forward into a whole new paradigm, a whole new experience for ourselves. So this just feels like a really significant moon in terms of the timing of it and the energy that's at play, and it being, having two Capricorn new moons in 1 year. It's just, yeah, I don't know what the stats are on that, how often that happens. It probably is not super rare, but I still think it's important to note. And I think that's it for now. I'll share before Madelaine, we go into all 12 signs, I'll share the card or the flower for the Capricorn new moon, but I want to give you a chance to speak since I was blah, blah, blind.
Oh, that's okay.
Did you want to go, Madelaine?
Oh, I thought you were going to share the card.
No, I'll do it after. I'll do it after.
Okay.
I'll do it when you're done, and then before we go into the 12 signs.
Okay.
Unless you want me to do it now.
It's up. You're running the structures here, the show.
It's a team effort, babes.
Okay.
It's a team effort. All right.
Sometimes
Why don't you go ahead and share?
See the card, but that's fine. Okay, great. So yep. Capricorn new moon, 9 degrees of whatever you said, 9 degrees 45, something like that. 45.
43.
43.
Yep.
And so it is in the part of the sky that is a very hardworking, diligent part of the sky, but is also a very spiritual part of the sky, which I'm going to explain in a minute. But what we're going to look at here is what's happening with Jupiter and Saturn, because we've just left Sagittarius season, and the entire time that Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, the whole time the sun was in Sagittarius, Jupiter's been retrograde, which is exactly why we've been feeling slow, and Saturn's in Pisces. So it's like this very quiet, introspective energy of sort of reevaluating. So with Jupiter in retrograde, we're reevaluating, not necessarily like spirituality, but how we can align with our soul actions and purpose. So we're really sort of in a reflective time where we know our dharma. So Jupiter is in a reflective mode, internal reflective mode and that's why we go slow, because Jupiter Jupiter is about the lightning rod, where we become introspective. It's the temperance card in tarot. And when it's in retrograde, it's extra temperance, and Saturn squaring it is like blocking. So what's happening is we're going to super duper introspective, and then we become quiet. There's nothing going on. We're in limbo. We're about to get into a very out of limbo period. So that's great. So take this time, and
all the planets moving direct. So
soon it's going to be crazy. Yeah. And then we're going to have all the planets bunched together at this Aries top end of the Gandanta point, end of Pisces, beginning of Aries, are all clumping the nodes. Venus, it's going to be crazy around middle February, March, April. We'll talk about that next time. But anyway, so we've got Jupiter retrograde. That is the ruler, which rules the sign Saturn's in. Saturn's in Pisces, and the sun has been in Sagittarius until the 21st, and all that time, as I say, Jupiter's in retrograde, and then Saturn, which is squaring Jupiter, is in the part of the sky which is really spiritual, which is really about understanding our dharma, the clarity of our dharma, and it's a dharma. So this basically, this new moon is a dharmic new moon, which, and I wrote some notes out on dharma so that people can understand what I mean by that, because this is a subject I love to look at. So dharma basically is this, basically it's our innate, something that we have, an essence, an innate essence is our duty, it's our job, it's our innate instinctual body. In other words, it's what we already have an innate ability to do, and it's what we are born here to do, basically. And so during this new moon, we're really at a place where we want to know what to embrace and step into the role that fulfills our prophecy. So, and what is our prophecy? Our prophecy is what was written in our stars. Our prophecy is what we were here to do. It was the fate that our creation was here to play out and create and be a material expression of. And so when we're on the step of our dharma, it's going to innately feel fulfilling, and you have an innate ability to do it. Now it's a part of the sky, which is the lightning, which is also that inspiration that comes in, that happens when you go meditative, you go quiet, nothing's going on, you're just alone, and you get that meditative, that's Jupiter's a lightning, that streak of like, but it also clears the ego and kills the ego, because the ego is what's throwing off our dharmic path. So this is a death of the ego where Saturn is, and Saturn is ruling this new moon. So what is this new moon about? Basically the death of our ego, which is having taken a way to go that is more out of our material. See, this part of the sky is how to balance the material and the spiritual, the unseen, the suddenly believing, seeing that we are multiple dimensional beings, that there is a cosmic order, and that our will cannot change the cosmic order, that our will is barriered from creating disaster in our lives by a cosmic force, right? An unseen force. So in this nakshatra, because I'm studying the nakshatras, is the part of the sky where we find a bigger meaning of our life and a bigger fulfillment and understanding of what really fulfills us. So we have this sort of transformation where we're not just material about our pursuits, but we're now of service, of higher service, and we have a devotion to it because it's our calling, it's our purpose. We have clarity of purpose. And so then that we just know, like on an intrinsic level, that this brings us, everything that basically is because Jupiter is the most powerful planet other than the sun, and it's basically aligns us with divine will, because we were created by that higher dimensional creative force. And so we now become a lot, we sort of wake up and we go, oh my God, I am here for this. I was a deliberate, intended being here to solve and be a part of the progress of humanity. And I'm I'm part of the cosmic order. That's what we discover where Saturn is, and what cosmic order was I here to fulfill? What role in the cosmic order am I here to play out on this stage that Shakespeare says is a play? What was my role? So in this, with Jupiter in retrograde squaring Saturn, and here's the other thing, because we're going to have an entire paradigm shift in about a month and a half, because we're going to start seeing all the outer planets starting to move. They're in the last degrees of these signs. Uranus goes in later, I think, into Gemini, but we're going to have Pluto's in Aquarius. Neptune's going to move in, I think, April or May into Aries. Saturn later then moves into Aries. I mean, this is crazy.
It is.
So we've got, the nodes are going to be right there. Let me share the chart, by the way. There's some cool things. Sorry, I'm jumping. I don't mean to jump all over the place, but just to talk about the bigger background about what's going on this new moon, because it is important, because it is related to our dharma. It's related to the Jupiter.
Natalie, I just wanted to interject really quickly. Sure. Like dharma to me, from what I've studied and learned, kind of equates to your divine purpose. It's right. Like it's like, if we want to just sum it up in 2 words, that's really what it is. It's beyond your purpose of being here. It's like, this was like your gifted purpose. It's like
right. Innate, your innate ability, the
yeah.
thing that you have innately. That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It is. It's the reason you were created, the raison d'etre. You're like a cow. Some could argue in India that they say the cow was the dharma is to provide milk. So we have a dharmic role. We have a role. We have a purpose here that we were that's what I was saying, right?
Yeah. I wanted to sum it into just 2 words. So like if
Okay.
people were trying to like, okay,
Get the simpler version of it. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. I just Cliff's noted it for those who know what Cliff's notes are, or Spark
Okay,
notes.
no worries. I just wanted to hope I had made that, because that's exactly what I was hoping to say. Okay, good.
You did.
So anyway, so Mars is opposing Pluto now, and we've got some squares. We've got that Saturn, we've got the Venus Uranus square, which I'm not going to bring up because that could show up in the story, but the main thing that's important to understand is that we have this. It's a wide sextile, but there is a positive flow energy between Saturn and this new moon, which is a depository of the new moon. It is squaring Jupiter, which is telling us that there's something that we are doing on this pursuit of our Jupiter-Saturn's conjunction that we initiated on the independent path. And oh my gosh, that is so true. I've just been hanging out with my son, and so many of his friends are just like on their independent Jupiterian path. I'm so impressed. It's exciting. Anyway, we're going back and we're reevaluating the soul connected. What do we believe? What's true? How are we supposed to more spiritually balance into this calling, which can be like not working so hard, but in fact, that's exactly what I'm going through, because this is hitting my chart really strong. I literally now have changed something about the way I do astrology. I'm literally really finding a way to really explore it in a way that's more genuine rather than feeling pressured. It's hard to explain. Yeah. But anyway, we're making shifts around our path on this path that becomes more authentic and genuine. Because we're with Saturn in the picture, it's adjusting us that we can stay on this path for a good at least 25 years. So it's got to be, we're aligning to this path. So anyway, so yes, so this is a spiritual new moon where we become very much prepared for these big shifts that are happening here in a few months. In all of our lives, we're going to see it. It's fast. It's going to be fast. A lot of changes we're going to do. I'm going to do some more posts about it. But so this new moon is preparing us to align us to start the seeds and plant the seeds of the new soul aligned, spiritually aligned, more balanced way approach that is more sustainable for the long haul. That, by the way, this is a part of the sky that is very auspicious. It is the part of the sky of the one-legged goat, Saturn, where you prevail and you have a focus because you're on one leg. So you have this focus. So this is a focus, like we were saying, practical. This is the way it's going to work. It works. And it's spiritual because it's balanced. It's going within Jupiter in retrograde, going within and aligning with the right way to do this from a spiritual. I hope that's clear. Anyway, so this new moon, we're aligned. So this is a new beginning. It's sextiling Saturn. It's aligned with this new paradigm that we're entering. And it's the new paradigm is more spiritual, more balanced spiritually. So we're balancing into something. We're becoming more materially and ethereally meeting in the middle here, and finding a flow, because it's a sextile. So there's a flow in it. That's how you're going to know you're aligned. You're going to feel this flow in the way that you're operating, in the way that you're working, and you're going to feel a flow if you're in your dharmic path. Now, if you're not in your dharmic path, you will feel the squares. You will feel the strong square from Saturn to Jupiter, blocking things, blocking it if it's not your true, you're not headed that right way. So now the only other thing to really look at here, which could be kind of tricky and hard to deal with, is the Pluto opposite Mars. That could be volatile energy. Of course, it depends on your own personal chart, how it hits it, but on a collective collective level, that could be, outbreaks of rebellion. And, we're entering a part in astrology. There's every 240 to 50 years, regimes fall down, topple down. The last time it was 240 years was when the American Revolution happened. I think before that may have been Bastille Day, but it always lines up to 240 years. And then because Pluto's out of bounds in the sign of Capricorn, was entering into the sign of Aquarius is out of bounds. But it won't be after this. It's a long story, but I won't get into it. But then when Pluto is out of bounds in Cancer, the opposite is when the last time we had that, when you have tyrants, and it's like way over the top. That was Hitler. So it's like, so we're entering this time where Pluto is out of bounds. It's literally a revolution. Every time this happens, it's a zero thing, that the old structures are toppling down. The beginning of the new era, where we're literally going to see the crumbling of the old and the birth of the new. And it's already happening. It's clear as a bell to me. Yeah. So this new moon is this is very auspicious part of the sky, very abundant, very in alignment with our soul's destiny and our what truly feeds our cup, fills our cup. And it's our raison d'etre. It resonates with the essence, our true essence, with our gifts. And we're gaining more clarity with that Jupiter retrograde. As much as it may block for people who are ruled by Jupiter, it kind of blocks work, it blocks things, but it's very valuable because you really feel more shifted into shape, into the right. Jupiter is about shape shifting. So it's like a shape shifting energy where you're going from one thing and you're not making a radical change. You're just shut, because Jupiter's in retrograde. So this is a new energy, but Jupiter in retrograde, we're working on something from the past. We're just reshaping it. And it fits better with and that's why Saturn was in retrograde too. So it's like it slows us down. And many things do better. We do better when things are slightly blocked. We grow more. Plants, if you give them just a little less water than they need, they become stronger. They create more juice and things like that. They just are better versions of themselves. So Saturn comes in and just restricts us just a little bit, gives us dinner but takes dessert away, and so it's like, so Jupiter retrograde is really close to us. It makes a very strong focus on our internal spiritual dharma. It's all about the dharma. And these are the new beginnings. These are the new beginnings that are going to start bearing fruit at this time, in the Cancer season, probably when we've got that full moon, Capricorn. And we're going to start seeing go time. So, I mean, we really are in the in-between phase. We're in limbo land right now. This new moon is like, oh my gosh, nothing feels like it's happening for anybody. It's very limbo landy energy, but it really is the calm before the storm. We're really taking in it. You really want to use this time wisely, go introspective, connect, and ask yourself a lot of questions like, what am I, I put a lot of notes. I was having so much fun reading about Dharma in general. And it's basically, you just want to ask these questions like, what is the archetypal, what archetype am I, what am I here for my tribe? Like, what is my job in my tribe? What is my role in and then our astrology is our mandala. It's like, it sparkles who you are, like your purpose. It's like, what is my sparkle, and so how am I here to give in sacred service to the whole or my world, small or large? How do I give my essence out? What archetype do I inhabit? I teach a course, by the way, on the archetypes. I'm about to launch it, but maybe that's what I'm going to launch on this new moon, or my classes of the archetypes and the 22 paths from the unmanifest to the manifest, the hero's journey. Anyway, and embrace. Oh yeah. So to know what it is that I'm here to embrace with all my being and with a devotion that thus fulfills my role and my prophecy, but also what fulfills the gap in the universe that I was here to fill. What is that gap? So anyway, these are good questions to ask on this new moon, because we're gonna get mushed around if we're in too much self-will. So you want to get some sort of, like you were saying, that ritual is a great idea, because you want to connect very much with what you want to leave behind and what you want to initiate in this new because you want to be able to articulate that to yourself. That's then you can manifest it, but also this is about your whole who you are as a person. So it's like you want to grab that, you know, that's what it says on the Temple of Delphi in Delphi, Greece or Turkey, somewhere, where it says, know that noske something, the word thyself. I have it. It's like, know who you are, grab that and do it with all your essence, you know. And these are both fire energies. So it's like, put your heart and soul into this, because it is a do or die area of the sky, where it's like, are you going to fulfill your dharma, or are you going to, you know, but this new moon is, let's grab that bull by the horn and let's go for it. We can do it. It's a faith restorative new beginning. So I guess that's good for now, you know.
All right. Well, how about let's jump to, I'm going to share the impact chart, and then
Okay.
we'll go into the flower, and then we can go into the 12 signs. Let me just pop over and see, like, whoever is joining us live, if you have any thoughts or questions, we'd love for us to be interactive. I'll pop back and forth and see what's going on. So everyone just, you know, whoever's live, if you drop your sun, moon, or rising in the chat, then we can kind of keep a special eye out for you, and maybe address or any questions you might have specifically related to what's coming up for you. In the meantime, I'd like to show you the impact chart, and this basically is going to highlight which degrees for which signs are going to be the most impacted by this new moon. And when I say most impacted, it's who will feel it or see it in their lives more significantly. You know, we all will see it to a certain degree usually, but for those who are, you know, obviously between 4 and 14 degrees of Capricorn, Aries, Libra, and Cancer, you're going to potentially really feel this. So that's if you have your sun, moon, or rising, or any planets in the 4 to 14 degrees, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, Libra, you will likely feel it. So, and the way you find that out is go to a multitude of websites where you can get a free natal chart, and you'll get your natal chart and just look to see if you have any planets or points within those degree ranges, and then you'll know. And that will also give you a little bit more of the story of how it might affect you, and what might be coming up for you. Tells a little bit more of that story for you. And then the flower for the Capricorn new moon. And I love this flower because it's an awesome flower from a vibrational standpoint, and it's also very easy to come by. So as always, I'm using the Flower Evolution deck by LOTUSWEI. Happy to report the decks are coming back into print very, very soon. And we have the rose as the flower for this Capricorn new moon. Now, like I said, you can get a rose just about anywhere. They even sell them. People sell them on the streets here in Florida sometimes. Probably not in the colder climates where you find people standing outside selling roses in the winter, but they're really easy to come by. So this is one where you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to anyway, but this is an easy one to really bring the energy in. It is the highest vibrational flower that exists, that I know of anyway. And this flower activates tenderness. It reminds you to nurture yourself, take care of yourself. Hey, let me go to my notes because I wrote some other things here too. This softens any hard edges or sharp edges that you might have in your life. So we're coming off holidays, and they can be challenging for many people, being with family members that you may not get along, or you may have different political views or societal views, and you come away feeling kind of on edge. The rose is a great flower to soften some of that. It reminds us to forgive. It reminds us to be kind. It's really supportive as far as healing any emotional wounds or scars. So again, this is a really beautiful time of year for many folks, but it's also an equally challenging time. So some people, they may have some wounds, you know, raw spots like pushed upon, and they're really looking for something to soften that. It's also really supportive if you've felt any sense of disappointment in your life, or if you are looking to protect yourself against like kind of angry, aggressive energy in your environment. So the rose for this Capricorn new moon feels really on point and perfect, and one that you can easily come by. The rose is in, there's a really beautiful chocolate by Way of Chocolate, which you can get at LOTUSWEI. It's lovely. I actually used that, funny enough, when I made some muffins for Christmas. I cut up some of the chocolate bars and put it in my muffins. And then it's also in the blend Fierce Compassion. And I love the combination of those two words, fierce compassion. Fiercely being compassionate, really being strong in your softness in a way. It's like this gentle strength. So there we go. That is.
Wow, that flower really looks heavy and Capricorn-y. It's kind of like, you know, that feeling of like busting through that hard work, that winning through getting through that hard challenges, you know, that kind of a vibe, which is part of that nakshatra. So it's kind of interesting that card showed up.
Well, and this rose too, like when I see this card, because I know it's the rose card, I know it. But when I first saw it, it doesn't look like the roses I think most of us are used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a little bit of a different energy
right. It's not like a light, friffly, pilly pink one.
Yeah. There's like something really kind of like
Capricorn about it.
Yeah. So anyway,
all right.
That's it. So we can then jump into the signs. Let me just see where we're going here.
I'll just hold this up while you're at it, because the longer I hold the card up, the easier I find it.
All right.
All right.
Aries.
Are we ready? Do I jump in now?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So Aries has this happening in your 10th house, right? So, you know, I wonder in this new moon, do we will it and decide we're going to do something that's more in alignment, or do opportunities show up? Could be a mixture of both. But we're looking at a shift in career that is a new beginning. I'm going with the self-will wasn't really working somewhere, and this sort of is. So some sort of an opportunity around your career where this is the other thing that you know when you're on your path and you know you're on it and you're doing your purpose. It literally feels like the wind is on your back and it's helping you forward. You've got a sail, like you caught the wind. So for Aries, they're catching the wind here in their career on something, and it's flowing and the door's opening and they're like, wow, maybe this is the way I should go. Or they initiated the idea and they thought of it was a wing and a prayer, and they just throw it out there and it catches. It's like, whoa, no, this could, you know, because this new moon is, we're initiating new beginnings that again are out of our paradigm a little bit. They're not what we would have thought about a year ago in a way. So we're seeing some sort of clarity with these planets in retrograde. And so now we're going forward and we're feeling that we're catching some kind of a wind here. It looks like it's going to work. And then our egos get crunched because you're like, oh, I was going to go that way. I thought we were going to go that way. And it's like, yeah, but the door is open over here. Oh, okay. I guess I was wrong. You know? So anyway, so there's this sort of opening in a way that's not the way the ego thought. We're getting an ego death with Mars retrograde opposing Pluto, big time ego death. So everybody will feel an ego death in some way, which is that awakening, that lightning boom that comes in, that shows you we're connected to a higher cosmic order, and that there's a plan and purpose that was not what we thought. So anyway, that's for Aries.
So it's interesting when you were sharing about this, because, you know, when I think of the 10th house, we talked about this at the beginning of the show, that it's to me, very outward oriented, career oriented. It's that forward facing. And this flower for Aries is not really that so much.
Oh,
it's the rhododendron.
Oh.
Now, granted, when you look at the flower, it is outward, it is forward facing. There is like a lot of this like with the flower when you look at it. From an energetic perspective, though, it's softer. It's compassion, being kind to yourself. It's relationship oriented. So we've got some strength within relationships, feeling valued, feeling loved. And maybe that's part of the key for them to show themselves more, like be more forward facing. And then there's a steadiness to the rhododendron and an equanimity, that peace between your head and your heart when you're moving forward, a deeper understanding. So I don't know if there's another astrological component to this, because it feels like it's almost like the way forward, instead of charging ahead, is to soften.
Well, I like what you're saying. And it also feels like the light is propelling them rather than the ego, because Aries are very strong-willed. So I think they're now being propelled by the light here. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I love that.
Which is really what we're talking about. And that would be the general message of the whole thing. You know, deciding.
And we're done.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So put it across all the 12 signs. Okay.
All right.
Taurus.
So,
Taurus. Let's take a look. All right. Opening up Taurus here. So Taurus are going to have this in their 9th house. So their new beginnings, new plans around travel. But remember, this is a spiritual awakening. This is a lightning bolt. New moon. So there's some, and this is in your 9th house, the actual new moon, but you know, Saturn in your Pisces house is in your 11th. But in your 9th house, there's a sudden sort of calling, purpose, belief, a shift in belief. That this is a big awakening new moon for Taurus, where they see that they are, because they're not just a material being, that there is a cosmic, because this new moon, it almost feels slightly miraculous. Like, I know I don't want to be rainbows, and I don't think there's good or bad on this planet. I mean, obviously some things are really bad, but I mean, in general, you know, it's what we think. We think something's bad or good, but I think in this new moon, something pops in that we think is pretty darn good, because this is our when the new beginning is in our soul purpose calling, it feels great. Bliss is fantastic. So it's almost like a spiritual awakening that breaks through the ego about spirituality and about the cosmic truth, the cosmic order. And then it's going to wake them up to some, because a lot of times when you have this lightning bolt, you then become devotional. You do this from a different perspective. You put a different energy behind these new beginnings, that you know this is your dharma, and you know this is your essence. You know it's going to work, because if you're in your essence, it's going to work. So these are bold new beginnings with like strength behind it. So there's this new spirituality or new perception. Perception's a big one, because a lot of people have perceptions and they're just stuck. So there's this sort of breakthrough perception. Waking up, and they've got Uranus in their 1st house. So they're going to be a whole different person when Uranus leaves that chart. They're going to be much more liberated, you know, hippies.
Peace and love, baby.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and harmony.
Yeah, so this is very much travel, new beginnings involving travel, school, education, higher purpose, higher philosophy. They want to do their calling now. They're not just security based, you know, that kind of an energy. Could be travel, just travel. And writing is the sage, the 9th house is sage, the Sagittarius, which is the tale, to tell a tale.
Well, this is a flower that comes up, that's been coming up quite a lot recently.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. You probably know which one it is, Madelaine. It's the one that every time people see it,
oh no,
like, oh gosh, here it is, the black bat flower. And, you know, this flower is actually really awesome because of the energy that it carries. So this is one, again, we've got that key theme of fierce compassion. So fierce compassion for yourself, for others, advocating for yourself and others. Okay. Now, and that to me is kind of higher mind, higher thinking. When we have this awareness of something bigger than us, that we're looking out for we're looking out for other people. We're standing up for ourselves. We're speaking out. Now, this also is connected to a feeling of strength and fearlessness, being confident in going out into the world. And it's the power to propel you forward. So any Tauruses out there, if you felt a little like stagnant, like you're not really able to move through, it's like sludge. This might be just the little burst that you need, the little boost that you've been requiring in order to kind of get you going, get you moving. So even though this is a little tough to look at,
well, it reminds me of the devil. Sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, go run to the devil card.
Yeah, it reminds me of the devil card in tarot, which really is the ego, which represents the ego. So it's like these little bursts of spirituality popping out of the ego, little bits of light, like breakthroughs, little bits of sparks opening up the ego.
Yep. Yeah. It's a little, it's all, yeah. I love how you describe that, because it could very well be connected to that in a way of the like spiritual sparks, divine sparks.
Yeah.
That just move the ego out of the way. Dig it.
Little cracks in the ego.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're looking at Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. Mostly rising, because I'm looking at the houses, you know, so it connects to as your rising sign, but you do feel it as a sun sign. Some people feel it more from their sun signs.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at Gemini here. I've got a system I'm very excited with. I'll show you at the end.
Okay.
I know it makes it easier. So Gemini, you guys have this in your, you have Capricorn over your 8th house. So this is a new beginning with joint resources and financing. You could take out a loan to fund a business idea. It's like a very much a spiritual overcoming some sort of fear there's something that Gemini have been vacillating on, that they've been afraid of doing, that they haven't been sure about is alignment with their soul. They've been mutable. They can't make a decision. Now they make a decision. They commit. By the way, this is a committing new beginning. These new beginnings last 25 years. Okay. So this is like a very committed decision that locks you in some sort of joint venture, joint resource with a partner, or it can be a business associates, but there's a financial support being taken to take a risk in a venture that is really aligned with your dharma. So this is a new beginning. Now you could have had a tax rebate. You suddenly have some money here, so you now can initiate an entrepreneurial venture you've always wanted to do. Or let's think of another one. Let's think Gemini, writers. Maybe you decide to write a book, or you decide to write something, or start a website that's going to, but remember, these are things that make money, that make us material results. This is a new beginning that bears fruit, that feeds us. Okay. So for Gemini, there's some sort of new joint financial venture involved that supports your destiny in your dharmic path. And it is joint relationship. Go ahead.
It's so funny. I was looking at this flower when you said fruits of our labor, and literally it looks like there's little fruits on this.
There are. Wow.
On this flower. Yes, this is wild buckwheat. And wild buckwheat, it's so funny. I just love the way these flowers communicate with us on these chats. This brings something that's been hidden or subtle or kind of like not necessarily like front and center to the surface. So this is so 8th house. It's been hidden and now it comes out into the light. It obliterates obstacles. So obstacles are no longer in the way. And there's a different feeling. Instead of striving for success, striving for something, getting ourselves depleted and worn out, we find that there's a more efficient way to do it. And then I also feel like, this is just my interpretation, that the more that we are softening into our divine purpose, the more we're in tune with that, the easier it becomes to move towards success. And this, to me, this flower reminds me of that soft expansion. It's not like it's working hard. This flower doesn't look like it's working very hard, but lots of things are happening. So I feel like this is what we're being told, the Geminis anyway, and really for all of us on some level. We don't have to strive quite so hard. Capricorn is a very hard-working sign. Nothing wrong with hard work. However, it doesn't always have to run us into the ground and leave us feeling sick or depleted in order to take that time to rest. Let's be efficient.
Well, that card made me think of something.
Yeah.
I was listening to you. I wasn't just waiting for you to stop, just so everybody knows. Well, so when the Cancer full moon hits in July, I think probably, or late June, we're going to have Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. And Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, the reason Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, because the crab makes lots of little babies, lots. Jupiter likes to expand and make lots of expansions. So that card says to me, if you invest money, all you Gemini out there, if you make an investment right now, you invest in a piece of equipment or invest in something that is in alignment with your soul's calling or purpose, you will reap rewards by next full moon. That will expand. It will expand financially because it's in the 8th house.
Oh, okay. This will be a great experiment.
Yeah.
So anybody out there who is a Gemini, particularly Gemini ascendant, drop a comment and tune in to our cosmic chat this summer, and we're going to see where we are. And maybe we'll offer you a little something for your effort of communicating and sharing with us.
Yeah, we'll offer a quick chart look at whoever wants us to do. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. Okay. Some incentive.
Cancer rising, sun or moon, Cancer. So this is going to happen in your your 7th house of relationships. And this is very much Dharma, co-Dharma with your partner, with it can be a business partnership. It doesn't have to be romantic. But you've got Saturn is in your 9th house. So it could be a joint partnership, collaborative with either doing workshops, teaching. There was someone who's asking me to come up with I'm going to do that. Actually, oddly enough, next week, I'm going to set up my program. They want me to send it to them. So it's like co-collaboratives around workshops and teachings or learning things. Travel, Saturn being there plus Jupiter retrograde in your 12th. There's a lot of travel energy coming in for Cancer. Now, Cancers on the whole are a very dharmic sign because it hits in a dharmic house, Cancer. So they tend to be more aligned. They tend to walk a more soul aligned path. Usually when I'm reading for water signs, Cancers, they know who their person is. A lot of other people signs, air sign moons, they have no idea. They do, but they're just not listening. They run away. But anyway, so Cancers are mostly already on their dharmic path, but they are learning. There's an ego barrier, ego misdirect that they're breaking through on this path in this full moon. What else should I look at for Cancer? Now, they're going to have Venus in the 8th house at this time too. I don't want to get too distracted from all the other planets, but that is a relationship house. So to have a Venus in your 8th house, again, in the relationship house, this basically implies that most Cancer risings are going to be co-collaborative, joint resources, joint with a partner, a divine partner, marriage, romantic, or business, otherwise, or both. And their ego is breaking through because they've got Jupiter in the 12th house. So they've been very introspective, wandering around quietly to themselves for hours. That's what I've been doing. Just contemplating and understanding things, like trying to get more in alignment with my Dharma, right? And so which is preparing us because Cancer's Jupiter is going into our first house. So we really need to align with we need to really get clarity because it's go time. We're going to go forward there in that June. We're going to have a lot of success. Cancers have a lot of good stuff happening. So we're really aligning with our Dharma, and it will involve Cancers have really matured. By the way, a lot of this is happening in the sign of Capricorn, where we've had Pluto, where we've cleared karma, which is about maturity. So we're maturing. Saturn is about that. So it's almost like we've matured now, so we can go forward in a relationship because we've learned more about how to collaborate and be cooperative and not so polarized in our feminine energy. Anyway, so this is an auspicious, very auspicious long-term new beginnings that will bear fruit and most likely bear fruit for all of us in June, or we see a nice strong tree that bears fruit, but a tree that will bear fruit for 25 years.
Ooh, that's a lovely tree to have.
Yeah.
Well, this very much connects with what you were saying then, Madelaine. We have the red bird of paradise, which activates focus and get it done. Like it's time to get things done. So, which I love because we've got that Capricorn new moon energy, which is that inner knowing, taking action from that place, and all the introspection that you were talking about as well. There'll be some clarity, hopefully. There's motivation. There's a connection with drive, with passion. And if there's been a project that any Cancerians have been putting off, now is the time that you can put some energy towards that and be able to finish it effortlessly. Like it'll just be smooth sailing. So the red bird of paradise for Cancer.
That makes me think of something because they have Aries over their 10th house, and that color is so Aries and Mars, you know, Mars is 10th house. So it's like something gets fired up, and they are, you know, the nodes are leaving that. So something could get fired up in our 10th house, fellow Cancerians.
Yeah. Well, which is very exciting.
Creative, that orange color is creative fire. Speaking of which, Leo pops up.
Well, see what's going on with those Leos.
Fire. You've got Mars in your first house, Leo. Watch out for Leos right now in retrograde.
What would be the key words that you would describe for that?
Well, you could tip them off easy. Like it's not easy to step on their toes kind of energy. What else? They probably don't really want to be bothered. And by the way, Mars is men in general. So we could really put this across the male board. They just don't want to be bothered right now. Like, don't bother men right now. Just like leave them alone. Just let them think. Because they're going very introvert. They're going very reflective. Jupiter in retrograde, Mars, very reflective energies. Everybody just sort of wants to be alone. So it's like, so if you're stepping on them or crowding them or anything, they're going to go, hey, you know.
Yeah.
Give men and Leos a lot of space. All right. So yeah, we held the Leo card up good, nice and long. So Leo are going to have this fabulous new auspicious in-aligned soul beginning, in alignment with the soul, auspicious new beginnings that will bear fruit for 25, at least 25 years, if not 30. This for Leo happens in your 6th house. And the 6th house is a moksha house. No, it's not. Sorry, I'm studying my houses. The 6th house is the house of our work. It's basically the same house triangle as Capricorn. So it's basically a sort of a Capricorn, very worky new beginning, very, very disciplined, very, it could be a new spiritual practice on a day-to-day that makes you healthier, that then gives you the stability to start your purpose, you know, because we've got other things going on in our charts. So, you know, but a new moon in the 6th house is improving your health. Something that you do on a day-to-day that creates some sort of result in your life that hasn't been positive, you now get spiritual clarity. You realize it's out of alignment. You're going to get more assistance, more support from the universe, the cosmic order, because we're multidimensional beings. So our lives are not just what we see in the material plane. So we wake up to some sort of force that's been trying to tell us to stop, to change, to do something different on a day-to-day. Well, we have some sort of spiritual clarity. And the lightning rod hits us and we see how we can improve a ritual, a day-to-day practice a way of being of service, a big one. We see how we're here to be of service, especially if you have planets there in your 6th house. You're going to get directly hit to be some sort of a healer, medicine person, earth, to improve the balance of nature and the earth. And so it's like for Leo, and a lot of Leos are shamans, by the way. I know it sounds weird, but they are performers. I remember listening to Jim Morrison. He's got all performers have a Leo or 5th house placements. They're shamans. And he says the shaman, he calls it, it's true because they're performers, they're shifting our energies, they're helping us shift. And so you've got this sort of waking up to how they're here to shift the energies through shamanic practices, which is a day-to-day ritualistic practice that improves the balance of our physical being and the natural yin yang, or what do you call it, pH balance. So it's like, which is really important on our health, you know, the pH balance. But the reason I'm saying that is that a spiritual new moon in the 6th house sees a spiritual solution, more meditation. That brings you more connecting, that drops your anxiety. This is the house of anxiety and stress, where we don't have a spiritual practice that calms us down. Let me see what else. Pisces is in your 8th. There's this anxiety. So for Leo, there's some sort of anxiety, fear-based drive, some sort of a fear trigger that kicks anxiety in, that there's being healed, so that you can really align in a calm way, in a clear, steady, devoted, because you got it. Often we have Jupiter in the 6th house is preparing us for our path and making us healthy and strong for it. So that's what this is doing for Leo, getting you on a disciplined, diligent, day-to-day path that really supports your calling, your purpose. It can be like day-to-day doing internet stuff, or some sort of, what do we call it? Disciplined new beginning. Saturn being in there, it's part of the story. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the way it rolls.
Goes so without saying.
Right. We have the papaya flower for Leo. And, you know, when I first saw this flower for Leo, I was like, okay, this is so not a Leo flower. I mean, this couldn't be any more opposite of Leo, in my opinion. It's like small, it's kind of subdued. It looks like it would be gentle. And Leos are like gregarious and bold and out there and like maybe even slightly aggressive in some cases. And this is not that at all. And I think it's a reminder for Leos, particularly when it comes to their day-to-day and their health, that there is a powerfulness in gentleness, and that it's okay to be receptive versus always like outward facing. This is also a reminder of collaborations. It's collaboration, not competition, which I think Leos can be rather competitive. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. So if you need some help, Leos, time for some collaborations. And then you were literally using the words that are part of this flower as well: balance. Bringing balance between the masculine and feminine, yin and yang parts of yourself. And that, I feel like, can really help balance your health. You were specifically talking about pH balance, but it does. It's all, everything, all of that is connected. So, and then finding a balance between yourself and others, finding that masculine, feminine balance in your relationships, not just with yourself, but with other people as well, which will be very supportive in any relationship challenges you might be having as well. So the papaya flower for Leo.
I'm really finding it very fascinating that all these cards that that you have this sort of message that you're bringing to this reading about soft, you know, energy coming out. Like what you're really saying is like the light, not the ego, which I mentioned before, but this theme is very strong. I mean, it's coming out every card practically.
In slightly different ways.
Yeah, and it really is that we're going, and that's where Saturn is, the ruler of this new moon, into part of the sky, that it's about going forward from a more spiritually balanced perspective, which is less hard work, less push, like you say, the ego.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
This was for Leo. And so it's like, you're right, to get out of that fire push and to be more and let the light do the work here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
It is lovely. It is lovely.
I like these conversations. They're inspiring. This is the sorts of things I like to talk about. All right.
All
So
right, Virgo.
Virgo. Oh,
Don't forget the card, Madelaine.
yep, yep. Oh crap. What did I just do here? Open this up, put it on one. Okay, now Virgo. So Virgo rising, I'm sorry, Virgo sun or moon, have this hitting in your fifth house of relationships. So creative partner agreements. Now this house is a relationship house. So it's kind of like finding a collaborative new beginning or new friendships, or someone who's a friend becomes a relationship, a committed relationship. You get pregnant, have a baby, or a collaborative venture. A lot of people's purpose might be to have a special baby in these times that bring us into the new earth, so but there's the metaphor of that, a collaborative, what do you call it, entrepreneurial venture, creative, outside the box venture. People are very much operating this way these days. Inspired. This is a firehouse. This is creativity. It's fun. It's joy. It's playful. Having Capricorn, you have a lot of karma there you're learning a lot of karmic attachments, and you're really sort of setting free from that. All this new moon is kind of set free from some sort of major karma. We're initiating a new cycle now with a clean slate. So it's like clean slate and friendships, new beginnings, a collaborative venture. But again, it could be friends from the past with Jupiter in retrograde. But it is a very auspicious long-term new beginning that will bring creative joy. I mean, you could say that if it was a child, it would last about 25 years that you're under tutelage of a creative project that you did with somebody, So it's kind of that metaphor. And this is brings a lot of joy in this cycle. So I'm really happy for Virgo. I think that's it.
That's
Did
it.
I not
Okay.
spend very much time? I wonder if I'm even on the time, but anyway.
I feel like sometimes there's more to say for some than others, just, is the way it goes. If anyone's watching this and you feel like we had somebody that alerted us to the fact that we were not spending enough time on Pisces.
I know.
And Pisces is at the end. And so, yes, I mean, I feel like fair, totally fair. So I feel like we've been doing a better job of bringing Pisces in strong, rounding out the chat.
It's just when you do all the 12 signs, you're like, did I repeat that? Am I repeating that message all over and over? So I stop repeating it, and then they get shorter and shorter because I'm not saying the whole thing again. But anyway, yes.
Yeah. So, well, I'll have a few things to say about Virgo. So we've got Virgo here, fifth house. We have the night blooming Sirius. Now, and Sirius is like Cereus, not Sirius. Even though I kind of think serious with Capricorn, but that's not what this is necessarily. And this actually doesn't look like a very serious card. It's kind of fun and playful and expansive and like, look at me. So and Virgos aren't necessarily the look at me people, but if they're working on a project or there's something that they want to get out into the world, they do need people to be looking. When you have kids, that's kind of a big deal, and people are paying attention. You have baby showers and you're learning new things and you're getting out of the world in a new way. So this has the energy of fearlessness. Just take the leap. So if you are birthing a new project or a baby, I mean, I don't know about you, Madelaine, but when I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I mean, I don't feel like, I don't know anyone personally that ever said, oh, I was so ready for that baby, or I was so ready to be pregnant. It's like, it's still scary. Even if you're super excited, it's still scary because you don't know what you're getting into. So this is a reminder, no matter what it is, whether it's a child or an endeavor, a project, a passion project, that this is the time. It's okay. It's time to take the leap. And it allows you to elevate what you're working on in a big way. So any Virgos who are listening, if there's something that you're working on, how can you take that to the next level? how can you maybe bring a little more spirituality to the project? Like literally elevate it, not just in physical form, but in the etheric, in the spiritual way. And yes, the one other part of this too is a realization of your true gifts. So some Virgos, I don't know if they really recognize how talented they actually are. You might start to see it. Other people might start to say something to you, and then maybe use that as a launching off point for taking a leap into something. So night blooming Sirius for Virgo.
Yes. They have Capricorn over their 5th house, which is kind of like the ego really gets in the way of their creative endeavors. They have some kind of security thing overtakes them, so they don't let go, or they don't let that fire happen. And so it's almost like these are new beginnings that are expanding for them in that way. Like, okay, let's open this flower up a little bit here.
Yeah. Oh, those
I'm
Virgos.
a picture reader. All right. I'm an intuitive picture reader. All right. So now we're gonna do Libra, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Libra.
Yes, ma'am.
Libra card where you were right here. Okay, so Libra. Libra have this happening in their 4th house of real estate, property, living. It's also where we feel safe. It's where we're family, our heritage, ancestry, but it's also, can you be your room, your nest. But it's a new beginning, and it's also family, mother. So it's basically a new beginning. Now, the other thing I keep forgetting to mention is this squares the last eclipse in Libra at exactly this degree. It was around 9 or 10 degrees in October. So this is connected to that eclipse, but I just can't give too much information. It's too much to talk about, But anyway, so this eclipse, it is related to the eclipse. So now we're seeing a lot of, especially with the cardinal signs, we're going to see the shifts of that eclipse, new beginnings in relation to that eclipse, which show the changes that eclipse was initiating. So these are new beginnings in a living situation, a new idea. But again, this is a dharma. This is like, and the 4th house is a dharma house. So it's like finding your roots, finding your real home, or knowing how to feel at home, because this is all really introspective energies, like finding home within you, understanding how to find a home is to find home within you. And then now you're going to manifest one outside. This is happening across all the signs, by the way, with water signs in general. So it's like feeling it, and sort of like feeling where your right home is, or where you're going to settle here for like a good 25 years, And this is something that, or where do I live now that I know what my dharma is, and I'm devoted, and I see my outer worldly purpose? Where do I need to live? Where do I need to locate? Where is my true home? Where is my true dharma living spot? Where do I live when I'm playing out my dharma? That's part of the scenario you can paint out as you see what your archetype is, And then the ego, because remember, this is an ego death-defying new moon, where you're like, okay, well, I always thought I should live with this person, or this kind of person, or this was my family. But now I'm reshaping. This is shapeshifter new moon. I'm reshaping my family. There's going to be a whole new shape here in Cancer, in whatever house Capricorn is, like the new foundation, new like structure that, like I say, like literally you could, if we were going to use a house as a metaphor, you literally initiate the structure, which you then see the full structure by July, which then is the next year is going to create the house that you live in for the next 25 years. You could look at it like that. Yeah.
I like that. That's a very literal way to see it, but could very well play out that way for somebody.
Yeah. And the ego gets out of the way, because your ego has been in the way of where your dharma wants you to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we have the squash blossom for Libra. And this one kind of confused me at first, because this felt kind of connected to Virgo, because it's about birthing something. 5th house was children, birthing something. However, this has a slightly different feel to it. It's like liberation. We think about fourth house as a home and where we come from, like you were saying, Madelaine. So it's also our ancestry, and our ancestry can hold us back in some ways. Like we feel like we have to walk the same path as they did, or we can't do this because that's just not what we do in this family. This offers a sense of liberation. So it could be liberation from these old ways of thinking and being in our families. And then
it's a moksha house. I just have to correct. Sorry to interrupt you, but I said it was a dharma house, the fourth house. It's not. It's a moksha house, which is exactly that word, which is blowing my mind. It's liberation. It was almost like saying, you got that thing wrong. Here's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Liberation house, moksha, liberation. Go ahead.
There we go. Yeah, it is. I didn't catch that either, that you had said that. So anyway, this is one of birthing new ideas. Any stagnancy is going to become unblocked. If you're in tune with whatever information is coming through for you, like, are you listening? Are you paying attention? And when you get into this energetic flow and you feel that sense of liberation, you then inspire others. And I just think that's so freaking cool to be able to have that sort of experience and then ultimately share with others and give them that same sense of, whew, okay, like you can move, you can breathe. There's like this spaciousness. So the squash blossom for Libra.
Well, that's so interesting because literally the moksha house is spiritual awakening, emotional peace, liberation from a cycle of birth and death. It relates to transcending material existence, which is exactly what this new moon is about, where you're following your, and by the way, when you're in your purpose, in your calling, you feel this endless fire coming from the universe. That's how I feel that way when I do astrology. It's endless support, endless energy coming through. So that's like that card was this endless energy. You're connecting with that place that you're supposed to live and be. That gives you endless liberating. You connect it to that field where you're the force, where you're liberated. Anyway, so there you go.
Good stuff. Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah. Scorpio. So it is a moksha energy, Scorpio, transformative energy. They're always going through transformations. Poor Scorpios are always going through big transformations all the time. Major death and rebirths, All right, so
it can be very tiring at times.
I can imagine. They're ruled by Pluto too. So I mean by Mars and Pluto, which are opposing each other right now. So Scorpios must be going through an interesting time. Okay, so you've got this happening in your third house, a new moon in your third house. So a new car, a new neighborhood, new relationships, a new beginning. It's related to siblings. If you're young, your sibling could have a child, also it's communication, writing, it's media, a new website, a new story, writing. What else? A new media job, a job in media, which leads you to your dharma, which is part of your dharmic path. Maybe you get a job at as an Instagram promoter, helping promote products or something, but you're in media. And then somehow that opens up your abilities to be in media which you then become an influencer in liberating people into the new earth and independent paths. But basically the third house, new ideas. And now Mercury, I always forget, is opposite Jupiter in this, but again, there's so much to talk about. But so it's like a new idea that is connected to your dharma that you feel very aligned with. An opportunity could come up. It's also a new business. Running a new business, communication, you could start speaking, a new speaking project. You decide to start a YouTube channel and start speaking about something you have clarity around that is in alignment with your dharma, with your gift, your essence. You share your skills, your abilities. Mercury can be hands, what you make things. Running a business. A lot of things could happen in that third house new moon. But also, again, this is a spiritual awakening, an aha thing where you realize, wow, I could actually really do well at this. I could really be good at this. And a lot of when we walk on our dharmic path, we think it's not going to work. We think people don't pay money for that. Nobody would do that, but you don't realize your chart says, no, you make money at this, not everybody. Some people do make money. Your chart does support these paths, and you're like, wow, I can't believe it. It's like, I can do this, you know. Go ahead.
Well, I just have to give myself a shameless plug for
Okay, good.
a project. So the book that I wrote, We to Me,
Yes.
A Story of Love, Loss, and Liberation, is available for pre-sale. And it's basically a story for anyone that's in a relationship, or even if you have been in a relationship and you lost yourself in the process and you're kind of left going, what the heck happened? You know, now what? And to be able to open yourself up to see the signs and the synchronicities. And, you know, I share my personal experiences, and it's a story, but it's also a guidebook for anybody who is looking for some guidance, some support. Madelaine is mentioned in the book, as well as some other people that really had an impact on me and in my life during that time and even subsequently. So you can check it out at we2me.love. And it will be out in publication in the middle of January, January 17th, fingers crossed, because we run into a couple of publication snafus. So, all right, that's the end of the advertisement.
Well, that's an alignment with the with the Scorpio reading, isn't it? Writing, media, all that.
That's why I mentioned it. I was like, all right, I have to say something.
Yep.
So, all right. And then we have the Arctic lupine for Scorpio. Now, what I love about this specifically is that I did a card reading for myself on Christmas Eve because I was feeling out of sorts, just like not quite like centered, grounded. All the things that I normally do weren't quite getting me there. I did a reading, and the center card of the reading was peace. So peace has been a theme. And this flower also connects with that it activates deep peace, and the message is you are supported. So for any Scorpios out there who are feeling a little untethered or a little bit out of sorts, remember that you have support, and remember that at least to me, the way I'm reading this energetically is that feeling that we often get when we're in the midst of transformations and another death and rebirth cycle is you feel like you aren't supported and you are feeling the opposite of peaceful. And this is just a reminder that the peace exists and that you are supported. And that you're safe and protected, because that's another place I think Scorpios don't always feel very safe. And also you might feel like you've got a lot on your plate. So this will bring you back into a place of feeling like I can handle it. I can do this. It's not a problem. Maybe there's somebody in your neighborhood or your community that can help you out. Madelaine, you mentioned that. Maybe journaling would be useful, and that prompts this like brilliant idea for you. So there's a lot of different ways that you can interpret this card, but I guess my key takeaway that I have for myself, and I would love any other fellow rising Scorpios to take away, is that peace always exists within you, and that there is always help and support available to you, and that no matter what, you are safe and protected. So this makes me feel so much better. I love this flower.
Well, this card, the fact that you picked that card is literally like blowing my mind spiritually, because look at your background of your room. It's the exact same color, and the flower is your shirt, and then it peaks at the light in the top corner. I mean, it's literally saying this is you. And there's your white shirt in the like literally, and don't you see the colors completely blend with the background? It's like,
yeah, it's kind of wild.
And again, it's that soft spiritual thing going forward. It's almost like you've learned to become more spiritual in your mind. Like that's how the picture is. It's like, I'm strong now. I can be spiritual or something like that. Or
that's really funny. Yeah, because I don't look at myself, so I don't see the same things you're seeing, Madelaine.
Oh, you're not. Oh, wow.
No, I'm looking at
Maybe
you.
it's because my glasses. No, it's not.
No,
it's the
no,
same.
but it's like when I'm on these lives, I don't pay attention to myself. I'm paying attention to you. So
right.
I don't see the things in the screen that you're seeing. So I think that's kind of
well,
fun.
when you go back, look at this spot and you'll see the colors, how blended they are with that card is amazing.
Yeah, I see it now that I'm looking, but it's kind of funny. So yes, Arctic lupine for Scorpio.
That's nice. So spiritual, so calm. Peace, that card.
I know. I feel like I'm going to have to really meditate on that one. All right, Sagittarius.
Okay, you guys, ruled by Jupiter in retrograde, things have been slow and blocked, or, there's some movement going on, but it's not Sagittarius the way they like it. That's that temperance card, but it's to align more with your Dharma. Um, and your calling and purpose, where we have been, because I'm Sagittarius sun, where we have not seen something, because this new moon is hitting in our second house. So it's like literally a new beginning in a way that makes money. That's going to shift your destiny for a good 25 years. And it's going to be a solid, very good, abundant way to make money. A new beginning. Now that you see your value, because the second house often represents not having seen our value somewhere. I see that every time transits hit there. I notice with people I read for or myself that there's some level of unvaluing or not seeing my full gift. Because if you are awake to your Dharma, you see your full gift, you see your value in the cosmic order of the universe. And it is a sin to not see the creation that we are, the divine creation that we are, to not see God in us, And so there's an awakening here to a spiritually dharmic aligned path, new beginning. Now, this does support the new changes that are occurring. But it will yield financial independence by July and by that full moon. And it will show you that this is a solid, rooted new way of income for the solid long haul. And again, it involves talent, an intuitive ability, gift, innate gift. That's the theme. What else can I say? So that Saturn transit is hitting in your fourth house. So restructuring living situations and stuff like that, home. So yeah, moving and living somewhere for a long, my son is Sagittarius. He's definitely moving to Puerto Rico. So I know it's exciting. I'm going to go visit. So anyway, so yeah, a lot of shifts occurring in the way they make money, new beginnings happening for Sagittarius in the way they make their income, and it also shifts their living situation or enables them to shift, enable you to live in a better place, or but it's really if you're moving, it's because there's a dharmic shift that has to happen there to do this money work. You may have to move location like my son, or you may have to start working from home, or you have to get a new home or upgrade your home so that it can fit a new project or something. And also this is the ego there with it's the ego that was in the way. So there's a lightning strike here. There's an awakening, a realization on how they can make money, like a total realization. And the ego was in the way. And it's like, wow, this really fits. It really works. It feels, remember that sextile comes in, helps. Go ahead.
Well, I think this is interesting here, because we've got the golden monkey flower for Sagittarius, and it's, when you think of the gold, first of all, golden, I love, because this is second house, which is value, worth, what you value and what's valuable. And then the monkey flower, it's like, get the monkey off your back. You don't have to worry about all the things that you worried about before. It dissolves fear and rumination and fixation on the worst possible outcome. It bolsters self-worth, which is so perfect, and reminds you of your own unique value that you carry. And then there's also this ability to enjoy the expansive presence. You're ruled by Jupiter, expansive presence that is you. So even though this flower at first sight looks like, again, that small, soft, gentle kind of a flower, there's a lot of oomph behind the gentleness. So I feel like this also so beautifully connects with the energy of this Capricorn full moon reading that we've had so far. So golden monkey flower for Sagittarius.
I've never seen some of these cards before. I never saw the Scorpio one before. I've never seen this one before.
Oh, some new ones are coming out.
Yeah, which is so interesting. It really, yeah. And I mean, I guess that means for Sagittarius that they are, again, there's that theme, that ego is that black, that dark. It's like busting out of this sort of shadow aspect, or not seeing the way forward. Now there's a way through here.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Capricorn.
Capricorn. your full moon in you, on you, on your head, right on your head. The full moon is going to be right on your so yeah, so this full moon for Capricorn is going to be obviously in your first house. And there's something wrong here with my chart here. It's going to be in your first house. So that means basically your whole identity. And now the first house is a Dharma house. So it's like you really see your calling, you're doing something now that's really in alignment with your calling, your identity. You now align your identity. It's almost like your outward identity in the world has always been an old version of you prior to Pluto Capricorn. Like there was this old version of you that was serious, hard worker, responsible. I'm a real work ethic person. I've got a hardworking identity or whatever, serious. Now a new moon hits you and it's pulling you into a soul calling purpose. This new moon is pulling you with that Saturn, your ruling planet. It's been retrograde in Saturn in Pisces. Now in Pisces, it's pulling you to find your new authentic true path. That's your soul, that's your calling. That you and here's the other thing. It's hard for me to know on this new moon if opportunities show up. I think so, because it's your dharmic path. So the universe is constantly trying to throw us things that get us onto our dharmic path. So an opportunity comes in here that puts you on your dharmic path, or you get the lightning rod bolt and you know this, you suddenly see your dharmic path and you throw yourself all in. And it's like, I got it. I get it. And now this puts you onto a new beginning. Now you change your identity, because before you were working a whole karmically controlling material thing. And now you're suddenly waking up to more of a cosmic purpose or a cosmic order reasoning of your presence. And you then throw yourself in with devotion at it. And it just inspires you so much. This is like, this is really good balance for Capricorn. Like it really is perfect. Like they love that, because this is not so woo woo. This is new beginnings that are spiritual, but that fit for Capricorn. Because it's in the Capricorn sign. So it's got some sort of practicality to it, like you mentioned. And not only that, it's got solidity and long-term security to it. So, yeah, so Capricorn have Taurus over that thing. They've got Uranus there, but I'm trying to think where they have Pisces, because my chart's not fit for Pisces, for Capricorn here. But basically, I think Pisces Capricorn is in your third. They've got Aquarius in their second. We're on what?
Capricorn in the first.
Yeah, so they've got Aquarius in the second and Pisces in the third. So they've got Saturn in their third. So they're restructuring their communication styles. Their of course, all things third house, internal dialogue with that Saturn, but also they're becoming very clear on their ideas and what they want to do, and there's an internal, because we've had Mercury retrograde, that's a third house energy where you're really reevaluating things. So beautiful new auspicious beginnings that create the stability that Capricorns always want, and it makes them relax, and it helps them feel like they're in flow energy their whole lives. They finally feel this flow. They're like, woo, all my work, I've been looking for that flow, and now it's like it's there.
Well, with this Capricorn first house placement in this Capricorn new moon, it's like you were saying, it's like this whole like fresh start. It's this whole new way that they're presenting themselves. And the yarrow flower, which I'm trying so you can see it a little bit. It's a slightly different messaging, but it comes back to the same place of revitalization, recharging, having clarity of your mind, revitalizing not just your mind, but your body, your spirit. This is really particularly important for those who are in front of a computer all the time, who are around EMFs, if they're like in that sort of environment. And funny enough, that's one of the gifts that I got for Misha was
Interesting.
some shungite to help him with some of the
Mm-hmm.
EMF radiation that he's around all the time. And he is he's a Capricorn sun, not Capricorn rising, but still it kind of fits with this theme that the flowers are relaying to us. And that could be part of the change for Capricorns, is kind of changing some of their habits when it comes to technology or electronics and how they present themselves in the world. Yeah, and it really allows this flower allows them to access the vitality of their body, which I love, because
That's the first house.
yes, there you go. So yarrow for Capricorn.
Well, talk about lighter energy, somebody lightening up here a little bit, getting more buoyant and in the light.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's serious.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I popped over. I've been remiss in going over to YouTube to see comments, but Erica joined us. She is a fellow Leo, but she hopped on at Virgo, and she said she sees with clients recently that helping them realize their gifts and take their creative leadership leap. All signs, she's like, for me, for sure, home within, then home somewhere someday has been a lifelong theme. Goodbye, ego.
Oh, good.
And
Nice.
yeah. And she said, we, to me, ready for it. Yes, girl. Absolutely. So
thanks for the comment.
Yeah, I think Erica is one of our biggest fans, where she likes all of our stuff and she comments.
Thank you, Erica.
I know she's bomb diggity.
Yay.
So yeah, we love it when you guys comment and like, and you share, and you're here. And for those who are here live, thank you for being here, whether you stay silent or not. We so appreciate you're here. We feel that love and support. Okay. Aquarius.
Ruled by Saturn. Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention Capricorn. You guys know you're ruled by Saturn. I don't have to tell you. All right. So Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. Saturn's in your second house of financing, where you are transforming something about your income. You're going through a restructuring. But this new moon is in your 12th house. So there's some sort of karmic, there's something that's part of your dharma that karma was in the way of. That there was karma you needed to burn off before you could step into this dharmic position and roll. After Pluto having transformed you from this karmic patterning, it has now left that your karma has been cleared in some level, which would have been recent trauma, maybe tough, depending if you have planets there, worse for some. But basically, this clearing now has opened you up, and you probably get a really major download, a lot of clarity with that 12th house. You could get some real aha clarity downloads about your purpose, your calling, your gift. A lot of I know some Aquarius, they don't really know what their true dharma gift, their essence is. So it's almost like you go, that's what it is. That's what I'm here to do. That's where I'm gifted beyond the normal average. Because our gift is not, we all have a different gift. Our gift is above the average at this thing, whatever that is. We are above average at something. What does that mean? That it's in our prophecy that we will succeed in this. It's in your chart. You can see, that's how I can tell what people are here to do, because they literally have trines and angles that say, yeah, you step into this, you're always going to have a harmonic angle. The universe is always going to be blowing a beautiful wind on you in that direction of your life. There's going to be a harmony to your life, right? So it's like you can see where that is in your chart. Where if I step into that flow of where where the cosmos wants me, it's like suddenly things happen and it flows. And so it's like, for Aquarius, there's an unblocking of what that was. There's a revelation. There's a new beginning. And again, it could involve travel, anytime you get into that 12th house. But basically it's an expansion of your horizons, and this is for a long term, right? So this is like, this really indicates the fact that karma was involved in clearing. We all are clearing some sort of karma for this beginning, but this would really show that it's almost like you have a new dirt patch that you had to pull all the weeds out. You had to get all the old wooden roots that were in there that were rotting away, just pulling rocks out, digging out of the garden, and now you've got a fresh bed. And then you start, this is a new moon, you're going to plant some new things here. By July, you see the rewards. This is a transformation house. This is a moksha house. This is a liberation house. This is a new beginning, which liberates you financially for the long haul. Yay for Aquarius.
Yeah, I feel like they've had a...
I throw in the little ego thing. See, the karma was in their ego. Their mind was also, so their thinking was, you can't do this. It doesn't make money. It's this or that, or there was some sort of naysay. But now you've cleared your karma. You go, wow, this is something I was going against myself. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the naysayer or a little bit of the victim consciousness with the ego play a little bit too. So we have the banana yucca for, let me see if I pull it back. That actually you can see it a little bit better back here. The banana yucca for Aquarius. So it is hidden potential, uncover your secret talents, power, sense of purpose, dissolves insecurities around your capabilities, and there's unexpected leaps and bounds towards your goals. So this is the perfect time for Aquarians to really open themselves up, expand your mind, which is what you're so good at doing, towards yourself and what you're capable of, what you're able to do. And if something doesn't work out the way you expected, there's probably a bigger reason that you don't know quite yet. And then you will, but it's like, you've got to at least take that first leap. So banana yucca for Aquarius.
Another really spiritual card. It really is a dissolving of the ego, that card.
I also almost see
spiritual, like no ego, like, you know.
It almost looks like a dove of peace here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like, or even like two of them flying together. It's just very, just glide, fly, baby. Let's go. Let's do it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Stepping into the light.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And
all the cards so far have been very spiritual. I find that rather fascinating.
Very. Especially since it's Capricorn.
I know. True.
Yeah. Okay.
Pisces. But I guess it's the Capricorn. It's busting through our material obsession with the part of our path.
Yes.
We're going to the more balancing out with a more spiritual focus of the path, balancing more into a ethereal in the light message or purpose, reason.
Kind of like, yeah, I was going to say just what you were saying about your dharma, your divine purpose. It's we get lost in the sauce of, you know,
trying to succeed, trying to make money at it, trying to work hard, show up all the time, social media, Then you're like, wait a minute. What's the guru here? What's the light in this? What's the divine purpose, essence of it from the soul kind of, you know, aligns it. So what happens then on this new moon is that it's basically we're putting effort and work into something that's more in alignment. And when we do work and do things that are more in alignment with our dharma, there's a flow to it. It's in alignment. The car runs smooth.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, exactly. It can operate efficiently, effectively,
with less effort.
Yes. Yes.
Zero effort, even. That's when you're really in alignment. You don't even feel it is an effortless new in a way for Capricorn because of that sextile to Saturn. All right.
Pisces.
That's how you know you're in alignment again, is it flows. It doesn't feel that hard work, but it is discipline and it does involve digging the dirt, you know. All right. Pisces. Ruled by Jupiter, Saturn in your sign, in your first house, you're becoming much more mature, much more taking on more responsibilities, growing up, more disciplined. Maybe things are serious, a bit heavy, serious, you know, in the Saturn in your first, maybe a bit depressed, heavy. Sorry. Anyway, I digress. You also have this Capricorn new moon in your gosh, what house is it for Pisces? I just
11th.
Is it the 11th? Oh yeah, you're right. It's in the 11th. Yeah, it is in the 11th. Yep. So okay, so a new So let's say you're most Pisces are artists, social musicians. So some kind of new social media platform, which is in alignment with your Dharma, which is going to be super fulfilling, and it's usually going to be creative. But again, that could be ideas, creative filming, creative. You know, we are in a technological era, so there is technology involved in a lot of these, especially for Aquarius. Anyway, in the Aquarius part of your house, it's going to involve technologies. Like for instance, for me, I have Saturn in Aquarius. I have to work through social media networking, Zoom. It's all done on the internet like crazy. So, so for Pisces, they're taking sort of they've learned that they've been too ego in their public persona on some level, like who they are on social media or who they are on their, you know, service to humanity. And on some level, they've been some sort of thinking it's got to be this way, or ego. And also they would have made friends with people for the wrong reason, because they thought that it was going to give them security. Or if you make friends with these people with a lot of social media followers and you follow them and you like something, then they're going to follow me back and I'm going to get 1,000 more followers. I don't know. But anyway, that kind of thing, right? Which happens. So anyway, so Pisces are now sort of breaking through all of that and connecting with a soul tribe that is dharmic, that feels like, wait, I don't have to work hard to get these people's attention. Like it's just flowing, it's just happening. Your social media thing could suddenly you do something different than you usually done, because you're like, it hasn't succeeded. Something just feels like a failure there, like, or something, and then you just wing it and it starts to do, and you're like, that's it. That is exactly, because it wasn't from your ego. It was from some sort of fire energy, which means it was kind of fun and inspiring. And I just did it. I didn't believe in it. My ego restricts me. So, yeah, so there's this sort of awakening to a more soul purpose essence, from the essence of their gift and soul, what they've really got in their own individual way. And so it sort of starts to come out as a new beginning. You know, I'm just going to use a metaphor of someone who's been a painter all their life, and now just for some reason that they got up and they felt like doing a sculpture and they just plopped it up there and they say, I'm just going to plop it out there, and it sells. Everybody wants it. Like that's the kind of thing where they just like get over their ego and they just did kind of what they sort of felt kind of like would be kind of fun. Anyway, that's the energy for Pisces, where some sort of a breakthrough happens when they're not egoistically, consciously trying to make that happen. And it suddenly just flows. And then they're like, wow, I guess that was the way I'm supposed to go.
Would you say, I mean, because I kind of feel like that's the way it is for all signs, really,
Yes, but stronger.
for Pisces.
For Pisces, it's going to hit more. Wait, where's that 12th house for Pisces? The 11th house. I think they're going to see it directly, a new beginning involving social media platform.
Gotcha.
Okay. Out in the world, publishing, anything, all the 11th house, which is our tribe, which is how we relate to others, the bigger crowd, how we relate, how we serve humanity. Yeah, that's a theme that's running through it all. But
yeah,
Aquarius is very much that focus.
Right. Okay. So we have Mandevilla for Pisces. And to me, this is like one of those playful and fun flowers. It's like, you know, you could always think, you could even think of it as like something that's like friendly and fun, and you're like with your people. And what I love about the Mandevilla is it has the message of acceptance. So it's like accepting where you are, accepting the people in your world. It dissolves attachment. I feel like that's such a key piece for this. So this Capricorn New Moon for them is like, okay, you're putting yourself out there. You are you're doing something on social media, but you're not attached to how it goes. You're not attached to what your friends think. You're just doing it for the joy of doing it. You're falling in love with what is currently, what is happening in this present moment. I'm just total full acceptance of that. There's a sense of freedom to this flower, creativity, patience, having patience for what will evolve. There's a sense of contentment. So I feel like that's the inspiration, like when you're feeling this sense of contentment or alignment with whatever it is that you're sharing, then you know, okay, this is something, like this is very much connected with this energy of this Capricorn new moon, a new beginning for you in this 11th house, tribes, friends, online, social media awareness. So it's a sweet power.
Yeah, that's so interesting because that is the creative energy, and it really is like that orange, you know, and it really is like the ego, busting out of the ego and just being who you are, like just getting on social media, not trying to like control the look or the image, or and just like going for it, just because that's that Leo self-expression kind of me. So it's sort of like coming out and just being who you are, like getting over yourself. It's almost like this energy of, well, no one's watching anyway, I'm just gonna, who cares, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody is watching any Pisces social media, but you know what I'm saying, there's a little bit of like, I'm not really as successful as I want to be with this, so what the hell matters, I may as well play around and goof off a little, and then it really,
right,
you know,
kind of like, well, why
adds
not?
color to the whole thing.
It's great.
Nice.
Yeah, Mandavia for Pisces. So yeah, I feel like overall we've got some pretty divinely supportive energy for everyone.
Yes.
You know, a really powerful time. I mean, I love ritual, so I'm always all about rituals. I love to bring flowers, water, and fire and air in terms of just like being out in nature. Feathers are great if you want to.
Nakshatra is about rituals. It actually, I was reading about it, about rituals. Ceremony during this time can bring positive results. In general, Purvashada is considered to be a favorable nakshatra, believed at performing important tasks and ceremonies. It is believed that performing important tasks and ceremonies during this time can bring very positive, auspicious results.
I feel like it can't really hurt you.
Free.
It's free. You know, it doesn't have to be elaborate either. I mean, I feel like, you know, it's like anything. The more energy and effort you put into it, the more you receive. So, you know, you could do a 5-minute ritual, no problem. You're still gaining, to me, I feel like you're gaining some benefit. But if you go the extra mile and you have some flowers or maybe some favorite crystals, and you know, write with something really lovely, and you burn a candle that's meaningful to you, I mean, there's something potent and powerful to that. It's the energy and the intention that you're bringing to the ritual that really makes, in my mind, a difference. Doing a meditation beforehand, you know, make sure you clear your space, you ground your energy, you know, you can go hog wild or you can keep it simple, but it is really the energy and intention that you come to the table with, and then what are you doing after that?
Yes, and that leads me to the single most important message of this new moon is the meditation, because it's in that slow time that you're going to get that divine spark, that lightning hit that gives you the clarity on how to begin these new beginnings.
Well, there we go.
I leave you with that.
I think that's a great ending point. So I actually hold on one sec. Let me just go back over and make sure. Okay, no more new comments. So I think Erica just said it was her pleasure to be here. She loves us. We love her too. Yeah, and I think that's a wrap. We're so grateful that you all came and joined us. For those who are still watching, I see there's a few of you still here. Thank you for
joining,
for hanging with us. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on both of our pages. That is really helpful to us, and we know that you're here, and it just gives us a little jolt of happiness that we've got people that are really excited about this upcoming moon cycle and all the moon cycles that we share about. Our information is below. If you want to start off 2025 with a reading or some support, we are here for you. And we will see you in 2025 with the
full moon.
The full moon in
Capricorn.
Cancer. Full moon in Cancer.
Yes.
Will be our next cosmic chat.
How do I keep doing that. I keep having that. That full moon Cancer. Interesting.
Yeah. So lots of stuff. We'll have lots to talk about then too.
Yeah.
So for now, we say adieu. Happy end of 2024 to you. Oh, I rhymed. That's really fun. And we will see you here in a few weeks. Bye for now.